Hello everyone, so this is Gaurav back again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well. Okay, so you have already started our RegEx journey, right? And this is the fifth video of regular expression series. Like previous video, in this video also we will learn about few more symbols. We will see like how to use it in order to write a regular expression pattern. Okay, so that is where you have to have some patience, because once you will learn about all the symbols, those are there in regular expression language, then it will be very easy for you to apply them in real life applications or in real or actual project. So in this video, first I will talk about the challenge which I have given to you in the previous video. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, so we have already started our hands-on session, right? Yes, and so far we have learned about few symbols in RegEx, like how to use them in order to write a regular expression pattern. But that's not enough to write any complex regular expression pattern. For that, you have to learn about almost all the symbols those are there in RegEx language. Yes, so this video will be all about regular expressions, the basic set part 3. Similarly, in this video also we will see about few more symbols. We will see with example like how to use them in order to write a regular expression pattern. Okay, so before going to talk about today's agenda, let's look at the challenge first, which I have given to you in the previous video. Hold on, I am assuming that you have seen all of my previous videos. If not, then I'll highly recommend you just go and have a watch those videos first, then come back to this video. I'll give you the link in the description below. Otherwise, you may face some difficulties while learning. Okay, so now let's discuss about the challenge first. Let's solve it together. Alright, so now let's look at the first challenge which I have given to you in the previous video. I am very happy to see like many of you have solved it by own. And for those who were not able to solve it by own, now it's time to do together. Okay, so now let's try it out together. Okay, so this is our input dataset, right? In the previous video, I have told you about the step 1, right? Means the requirement, like what data need to be included and what data need to be excluded. So you can see here like the strings are having green tick on the left are the strings that you want to include, and the strings are having red cross on the left are the strings that you want to exclude. Now this part was clear, right, in the previous video. Now let's look at the step 2, right? Now let's identify a pattern from this input dataset. Okay, so now observe it very carefully. So you can see like the strings are having green tick on the left are started with mo, right? And the strings are having green tick on the left are ended with nar. Here also nar, here also nar, nar and nar, right? Okay, so up to this it is very clear to everyone, right? Now let's look at the interesting part. Now let's see what character is there in between mo and nar for these 4 strings. You can see. So here we can see like here we have mo, double character. Here we have single character L. Here we have 4 character S, K, G, L. Here we have nothing. Okay, so it is totally unpredictable, right? The first one is what character is occurring between mo and nar. It is unpredictable. Like here we have M, O, here we have L, S, K, G. And the second one is like how many characters are there, like what is the number of occurrences. That is also unpredictable. Here we have 2 characters, here we have single, here we have 4, here we have nothing, I can say 0. Okay, so basically there are 2 challenges. Okay, so we made our observations. Now let's look at the pattern which we can find from this inclusion list, like the strings that we want to include. So here it is, right? So it starts with MOO and ends with nar. Are in between these two, this part and this part is fixed, but this is totally unpredictable. You can see in the first case we have mo, second case we have L, then skgl, and then nothing. So here basically I can divide it into two parts. Number one, the occurrences is unpredictable, or number of character is unpredictable, and the second, the character itself unpredictable, like what character is there. Yes, so that is the tricky part. So I know like anyone can find this pattern, right, from this input dataset. Now the interesting thing is that how to implement this pattern with the help of regular expression. What kind of symbol or what kind of combination of symbol we should take in order to satisfy this criteria. So in the first video of hands-on session, I have told you about a symbol, that is star or asterisk. Do you remember that? It's mean 0 or more occurrences of the character that precedes this asterisk, right? So in that video I have shown you with a star, means 0 or more occurrences of character A, right? So I can say like with this 50% of our criteria is matching. How? Let's see. Because the first thing is occurrences or number of character is unpredictable. Like, so here sometimes we have 2 character, sometimes we have single character, sometimes we have 4 character, sometimes we have 0 character. So see again, 0 or more occurrences of the character, right? So 50% I can say with this star it is matching our criteria. Now what about the character? Because the character itself is unpredictable, right? Because we don't know like what we need to put before this star, right? Like what character should precede this asterisk. Okay, so in the previous video I have already told you about a symbol, that is dot or period. Do you remember that? What does it mean? Dot is a wildcard in RegEx language and it represents any single character. Any single character. Okay, any single character means it could be anything. It's not about alphabet, it can be white space as well, because it is also a character, right? So now let's try to combine them together. See, if I combine them together, what happened? Let's see. So if I write in this way, like dot then star, what it represents? So dot means it can allow any single character, right? So after that, if we have star, that's mean 0 or more occurrences of that character. Now the character can be repetitive or it can be anything. So if we have A over here, then star, which we have already seen in the previous videos. So that's mean like 0 or more occurrences of A, like double A, triple A, single A, 0A, something like that. So with that combination we can also satisfy that criteria as well. But it can be repetitive or it can be anything, like A to Z you can write as well. Now let's see here. Here we have more, right? So because of dot it can take any character, and because of star it can have any number of occurrences. So here also you can see like skgl, whatever A to Z, whatever you can write over here. Dot means any character and star means any occurrences. See, here we can have white space, right? So with dot we can allow that white space because it's a character, and with star we can have 0 or more occurrences. So here we have 0 occurrences. Okay, so now I hope that you have understood, right, how to use dot star. So whenever you have this kind of scenarios like the character and the number of the character or the number of occurrences both are unpredictable, you can go with dot star. It's very powerful. Now let's represent this pattern with the help of regular expression. So here it is. So here it starts with mo, ends with nar. In between that we have dot star, means any character and any occurrences. So it can allow 0 or more occurrences of any character. Okay, so now this is our final regex pattern. Now in step 4 I am going to use some kind of regex engine in order to apply this pattern on the top of this input dataset so as to get the desired output. Now let's do that. First I will use Linux regex engine and then I will use regex101.com. Now let's do that. Okay, so right now I am in Linux terminal. So let me show you the input dataset which I have stored in a file called challenge1.txt. Here it is. So this is our input dataset, right? Now in order to apply our regular expression pattern using Linux regex engine on the top of this input dataset, we have to use a command called grep, then space. Now we have to write our regular expression. Now you can write that within single quote or within double quote as well. So what was our regular expression pattern? It was mo, then dot, then star, then nar, right? After that space, then we have to mention our input dataset, right? We have to mention the file where we have our input dataset. So we have that in challenge1, right? challenge1.txt. Now press enter. Here it is. Excellent. So it is working, right? So according to this regular expression pattern, these 4 strings are valid from this input dataset. You can see, and you can see like because of dot, it can allow any character in between mo and nar, and because of star, it can allow any occurrences of any character, right? Okay, so that's mean it is working, right? Excellent. Okay, so now let me show you the same thing using regex101.com. Now let's see that. Okay, so in browser just type regex101.com, enter. Okay, so I'm going to use JavaScript regex engine, and here let me copy the input dataset first. Here it is, right? This is our input dataset, and here we will write our regular expression pattern, and that was mo, then dot, star, then nar. Okay, so you can see there are total 4 matches, right? So that's mean according to this pattern, these 4 strings are valid strings, right? Now let me show you one more thing. Now in between mo and nar, you can write anything you want, anything you want. So that's mean you can write any character, or you can write some white spaces as well. So that's mean because of dot and star, you can write anything you want in between mo and nar, right? So that's when whenever you have this kind of situation where you need to allow any character and any occurrences of any character, then you should go with dot star. It's very powerful, right? Okay, so I hope that you have understood like how to use dot star in regular expression. Okay, so now let's finally see today's agenda. Alright, now let's see today's agenda. Okay, so in the previous videos, we have already learned about first 3 symbols from basic set, right? Those are star or asterisk, then dot or period, and then \s. Not only that, we have also seen like how to write a regular expression pattern using the combination of them, like dot star, \s star, etc. Okay, so in this video we will talk about the 4th symbol. We will see like what does it represent and how to use it in order to write a regular expression pattern using an example. Okay, so now let's look at the 4th example. Alright, so now let's talk about 4th example. Now let's have some input dataset first. Here it is. So this is our input dataset, right? So the strings are having green tick on the left are the strings that you want to include, and the strings are having red cross on the left are the strings that you want to exclude, right? So I can say like step 1 is done, right? We have understood the requirement, like what data need to be included and what data need to be excluded. Great. So now let's talk about step 2. In step 2, you have to identify the pattern from this given input dataset, either from inclusion list, means the strings that you want to include, or from exclusion list, means the strings that you want to exclude. Okay, so as you can see, like this dataset is very simple. So I want you to come up with some kind of pattern from this given dataset. So you can pause this video right now and you can try it out from your side. Later on we will do it together. Okay, so I hope you came up with some kind of pattern, right? Okay, so now let's try it out together. So as you can see, like all the strings are ended with nar, all the strings I am talking about, and before that there is a single character, or I can say single occurrence. So I can say this part is fixed, right, for all the strings, no matter whether we want to include or exclude, it ends with nar, right? but before that there is only single character, as we can see, and that is totally unpredictable, as you can see over here, right? So I can say before nar the character is unpredictable, right, but the occurrence is fixed, and that is single occurrence, or I can say single character. So now I am considering all the strings. Okay, so can I use dot or period symbol over here because it represents single character, right? The answer will be no, because in case of dot symbol it represents any single character. Any single character means it will allow D, X, H, L as well, but according to our condition, or I can say requirement, we don't want to add that, right? So that's mean we cannot use dot over here. We would need some kind of restriction on that, right? Okay, so the pattern is now very clear, right? It ends with nar, and before that there is only 3 character possible. One is A, then B, then C. Okay, so here is our pattern. Here is our pattern. You can see like this part is fixed and this part is unpredictable or dynamic. Okay, so we cannot use dot over here, right, because dot represents any single character, right? Any means it also allow D, X, H, L, right? We don't want that. Okay, so now let's see how we can handle this kind of situation in regex, where we need single character, and that also it will allow only specific character, not everything. Okay, so now let's see that. So if you write something like this within third bracket open and close, if you write some character inside it like A, B, C, it means it will allow a single character which can be either A, B or C, right? Let's say if you write D over here like A, B, C, D, that's mean it will allow a single character which can be either A, B, C or D. Okay. Okay, so if I talk about dot or period symbol which we have used initially, there was no restriction, right? It can allow any single character like alphabet, any special symbol, white space, digit, anything, right? But now using this way we can add some restriction on that, right? In both the cases it will allow a single character, that is for sure. But what character it will allow, that we can specify within this scope like A, B, C. Like it will allow a single character that can be A or B or C, right? Okay, so now let's talk about step 3. In step 3 we have to represent the pattern using regex, right? So now we know how to handle this kind of situation, right? So now let's see our regex pattern. Here it is. So as you can see, this part is fixed, like this is nar, and before that it will allow only single character, and that also either A or B or C. Okay, so here is our final regex pattern. Okay, so I hope you have understood like when you have to use dot or period symbol and when you have to use symbol like this, and what character you have to specify within this scope based on the requirement, right? Okay, so now let's talk about step 4. In step 4, I am going to use some regex engine in order to apply this pattern on the top of this given input dataset, so as to get our desired output. Okay, so first I will use Linux regex engine and then I will use regex101.com. Now let's see that. Alright, so right now I am in Linux terminal. So let me show you the input dataset which I have stored in a file called input4.txt. This is our input dataset, right? Okay, so in order to apply our regular expression pattern using Linux regex engine on the top of this input dataset, we have to use a command called grep, then space, then within quote we have to write our regular expression pattern, then again space, then we have to mention the file where we have our input dataset, and that is input4.txt. Then press enter. Here it is. So now we can see according to this regular expression pattern, these 3 strings are only valid strings from this given input dataset, right? And others are invalid. You can see like before nar it is only allowing a single character, and that is also either A or B or C, right? Excellent. Now let's see the same thing using regex101.com. Okay, so right now I'm in browser. Just type regex101.com, enter. Here it is. So now I'm going to use JavaScript regex engine for this. Let me click on it. Let me copy our input dataset over here. Here it is. So this is our input dataset, right? So now let me write the regular expression pattern over here. And then let's see, according to this pattern, what are the strings those are matching or those are valid from this given input dataset. Okay, so let me write that now. Yes, so you can see there are total 3 matches, right? Like this one, and this one. That's mean this is only allowing a single character, that is either A, B or C before nar, right? Now, if you want to allow this one like L then nar, then you have to specify that character inside this scope. So let me write that. So now you can see there are total 4 matches like L nar. So now these 4 strings are valid strings, right? Okay, so now instead of this, if I write dot over here, let's see what happened. Now you can see there are total 7 matches. That's mean using dot, it can allow any single character, and that's mean it is basically allowing all the character before nar, right? Now according to this pattern, these all strings are valid strings. Now let me write one more string over here, space, then nar. You can see because of dot, it is also allowing a single space before nar, right? So that's mean using dot, it is allowing anything and there is no restriction, right? So that is why we have to use something like this, like A, B, C. If you want to allow only specific character, or I can say specific single character, right? Excellent. So now I hope you have understood like where you have to use dot or period symbol and where you have to use symbol like this and what character you have to write inside it. Excellent. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you have understood this video. Now if you have any doubt, any queries in this video, please let me know by giving a comment in the comment section. If you found this video as informative, please share it with your friend. This is how slowly you will learn about all the symbols those are there in regular expression. Similarly, in the next video, you will learn about few more symbols, and with example, you will see how to use them in order to write a regular expression pattern. Okay, so see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. For now, take care. Tata. Bye-bye.